Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Rakak, Wadash, and double honor to the apostles of the great millstone, and as well as giving also the salutations thereof as well towards the Yakim out there that's forwarding this ministry too. And shalom to the true listeners and learners in this thing of ours, and it's the brother Laban coming at you with another video. And in this video, I want to go over what's going on in the Netherlands, which has begun and now it's getting bigger. And it's this protesting over this nitrogen emission problem. And so what we're going to do is we're going to begin by reading the title. So it reads, "The police fire on Dutch farmers protesting environmental rules. Farmers have blocked supermarkets, distribution centers, and roads in response to government plans to cut nitrogen emissions." Dutch police fired shots at tractor riding farmers who were protesting against plans to cut nitrogen emissions on Tuesday evening in the northern Netherlands. Police said they were responding to a threatening situation when the farmers who were attempting to push past a blockade to get onto a highway in the province of Friesland started to drive their tractors into offices and their vehicles. And what I have the true genuine reason as to why there's such panic among the people that are protesting, because what they want to do is they want to cut emissions down to or up to, should I say, 70%. And highly likely, if they can, push it up even more higher to even 95%. So that's the reason for the panic, and as to why people are out here protesting the way that they protest. So much so that they've even blocked, if I'm correct, if I remember vividly, they've even blocked out airports as well. So anyway, go as far as to read, according to Friesland's police, their shots hit a tractor, but no one was injured. 3 suspects were arrested. Rijkswerkers, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. The Dutch government's internal investigator said it would look into the events, given police had discharged their weapons. A spokesperson for the Friesland police did not respond to inquiries, but said a statement would be released later Wednesday. Dutch farmers have this week been protesting government plans that could require farmers to use less fertilizer, a lot less at that, and reduce their livestock numbers, which could force some farms to shut. So eventually the people will begin to lose their businesses that are in the agricultural world as well. Therefore, jobs will be lost by a large portion. So it reads, the Dutch government wants to reduce emissions of nitrogen oxide and ammonia, which are produced by livestock, by 2030. Cuts could reach 70% in some areas under the plans. In response, Dutch farmers have blocked supermarkets, distribution centers, and roads in protests this week, Wednesday morning, and they are expected to demonstrate at the Groningen airport, according to the Dutch media. And all of this involves the New World Order. The lie about how they want to cut down on emissions, again, it has every little thing to destroy the old world system. Because come on, I mean, if you're gonna cut 70% of nitrogen and if possibly 25% more, that means people are gonna have to basically cut down on a lot, as I've just read, on fertilizer and the livestock overall. Therefore, people are going to lose their businesses by a large portion, and therefore workers lose their job as well in the means. All right. So this is all going to be a manufactured event, such as a famine, as I've always said, and I'll say it again. And I also want to focus on what's going on in Italy, because what's getting worse over there is the droughts that they're experiencing, especially the northern regions, as this reads anyway. So it reads, Italy declares state of emergency in the drought hit northern regions. Italy has declared a state of emergency in 5 northern regions and announced emergency funds over a worsening drought that has plagued the Pile Valley in recent weeks. The cabinet approved a state of emergency in 5 regions: Emilia Romagna, Friuli, Venezia, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, Giulia, Lombardy, Piedmont, and Veneto until the 31st of December. The government said in a statement that also announced 36.5 million euros, that's 33.8 million pounds, funds to help those affected. Italy is facing an unusual early heat wave and a lack of rainfall, particularly in the northern agricultural Pile Valley, which has been hit by its worst drought in 70 years. The state of emergency provides extraordinary means and powers to help guarantee public safety, compensation for the losses, and seek to guarantee normal living conditions for those in the area. According to Italy's largest agricultural union, Coda Ready, the drought threatens more than 30% of national agricultural production in the half of the farms in the Pile Valley, where Parma ham is produced. Right. Lakes Maggiore and Garda has experienced lower than normal water levels for this time of year, while further south, the Tibet River, which runs through Rome, also dropped. The Pile River is the peninsula, the largest water reservoir, much of which is used by farmers. And this is definitely not a coincidence. You got to ask yourself, why did it happen to just be this river? Because what Esau's doing is as you know, there's evidence that can back a little as to what I'm going to say. It's the fact that Esau has some level of control of the weather to a degree. All right, and I just want to just briefly put that out there, because all of these droughts and all of these issues going on with the vegetation, all of these droughts and other problems with the food, it's just funny how you have the supply chain issues going on, and then you have these droughts going on in different parts of the planet at the same time, and it all involves around food. All right, so what I want to do is I'm going to read some scriptures here, and I'm going to begin by reading the book of 2nd Ezra 16 and verse 19. So I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll read verse 16. We'll begin right there. Like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returneth not backward, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon the earth shall not return again. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, and the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. So it's going to get pretty bad out here. Certain countries are suffering droughts. And you have over there in Netherlands, they're telling the farmers to cut down on livestock by a whole lot. And many other places around the world are going to experience their problems when it concerns food to a higher degree. So even though Esau is doing this by purpose, but guess what? It's the Lord that weigheth the heart. It's the Lord which controls the hearts of the kings. That's in the book of Proverbs 20, and I believe it's verse 24. So this place is going to be judged to a great degree, and famine is going to be one of those plagues, and many other things which will come, which will bring this place down to nothing, and many people will have to perish because of all of this, which is what the Lord is going to bring upon the earth to a great degree. All right. Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. But for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. So even though these plagues are going to be upon the earth, people are still not going to be mindful of the wrongs that they do, the sins that they commit, especially our people. So as what's going to happen, more plagues going to come, and the plagues going to become greater and greater as each and every last ones of them hit. As each and every last one of these plagues hit, they're just going to become greater until the people are affected by it greatly. So much so that they lose their life over this stuff. But see, the elect, on the other hand, they're going to have the word, which will have them overcome the Lord's dreadful and terrible plagues which he will send. Okay? Just like how the children of Israel were delivered from the plagues which were sent towards the Egyptians. The elect are going to be overcoming the plagues which the Lord is going to send in this Egypt. So let's begin by reading this right here. Proverbs 3 verse 20. By his knowledge the depths are broken up, and the clouds drop down to dew. My son, let not them depart from thine eyes, and keep sound wisdom and discretion. And so shall they be life unto thy soul, and grace to thy neck. And then shalt thou walk in the way of safely, and thy foot shall not stumble. Right? When thou liest down, thou shalt not be afraid. Yea, thou shalt lie down, and thy sleep shall be sweet. Verse 25. Be not afraid of sudden fear, and neither of the desolation of the wicked when it cometh. For the Lord shall be thy confidence, and shall keep thy foot from being taken. Withhold not good from them to whom it is due, when it is in the power of thine hand to do it. Right? So let's go into something else. Salakia for that. But from verse 20 to verse 26, in many words, this is basically letting you know how this knowledge is the great stabilizer, as it is written in the book of where it reads that the knowledge of the Heavenly Father and wisdom will be the stability of our time, and the strength of salvation is the fear of the Lord. So that's what all of this entails, basically. And ultimately, we're going to be granted salvation. So that's if we stay true to the words, as it is written also in the book of Revelation, the 3rd chapter, that the Lord will keep us from the hour of temptation if we keep his word. All right, so the Lord is going to be the one sending the plagues, and the plague which will overtake many is the plague of famine. But in that being the case, the Lord is going to redeem us from famine. Let's read this in the book of Job 5 and 20, shall we? In famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword. Thou shalt be hid from the scourges of the tongue, and neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. At destruction and famine thou shalt laugh, and neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth. So why would we be laughing at destruction and famine? Because the Lord is going to have us in a great case. So we're going to be able to do that, because on a natural, you're not going to be able to do that. If there's famines going about and there's different kinds of destructions going about, you're not going to be laughing. You're not going to think about laughing. The only thing you're going to be thinking about is whining and panicking and experiencing the suffering. That's what you're going to be concerned about. But as it reads, at destruction, as I'm going to read again, at destruction and famine thou shalt laugh, and neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth. So we're going to experience, the elect, that is, Lord willing, I'm a part of that number. We're going to experience on what the Lord was saying when he said that wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time, of our time, which is forth to come, that is. All right? So wonders are going to be wrought out here, brothers. Wonders will be wrought. Okay? And I just want to read a little in the history of what was happening during the time of Egypt. And I'm not talking about when Moses was on the scene. I'm talking about when when I believe it was Joseph at the time. So yeah, here we are. Fast forwarding to the book of Genesis 41 verse 30. I want to read a piece of this history because there's a good point in this right here that I want to elaborate on. But I'm going to begin by reading verse 30, and we're going to read towards the main point, the main verse that is, excuse me. So it reads, "And there shall arise after them 7 years of famine, and all the plenty shall be forgotten in the land of Egypt, and the famine shall consume the land, and the plenty shall not be known in the land by reason of that famine following, for it shall be very grievous, and for that the dream was doubled unto the Pharaoh twice. It is because the thing is established by the Most High, and the Most High will surely bring it to pass. Now therefore let Pharaoh look out a man discreet and wise, and set him over the land of Egypt. Let Pharaoh do this, and let him appoint officers over the land, and take up the fifth part of the land of Egypt in the 7 plenteous years. Let them gather all of the food of those good years that come, and lay up corn under the hand of the Pharaoh, and let them keep food in the cities, and that food should be for stores of the land against the 7 years of famine, which shall be in the land of Egypt, that the land perish not through the famine. And the thing was good in the eyes of Pharaoh, and in the eyes of all of his servants. Joseph is made the ruler of Egypt. The Pharaoh said unto his servants, Can we find such as one as this is, a man whom the Spirit of the Most High is? And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, For as much as the Most High showed thee all this, there is none so discreet and wise as thou art. Thou shalt be over my house, and according unto thy word shall all my people be ruled, and only in the throne will I be greater than thou. And the Pharaoh said unto Joseph, See, I have set thee over all the land of Egypt. Why? Because as what the Pharaoh witnessed, not witnessed, but it's been revealed to him that the Lord have showed him, Joseph, all of this knowledge to take care of the people. So much so that the Pharaoh marveled and said, Yo, you're gonna be over, you're gonna be, I'm gonna put you up pretty much second in command over the city because of this, what you showed us. Right? So in saying that, the elect, when push comes to shove and all hell breaks loose and famine is abounding greatly, guess what? We're going to be taken care of because of what the Lord is going to have already. By the time this even hit, the plagues have already hit, have given us the knowledge. So when you read all of this stuff about our ancestors and what they did in the times of great despair that they faced, somehow, some way, you read about how they survived it. Why? Because the Spirit of the Lord was with them. Because the Lord revealed them a particular kind of knowledge of His. Knowledge of Himself to them. And that's why they were able to escape and figure things out and overcome these problems that they came across. Right? So when the time comes on this side of the spectrum, we're going to be taken care of. We're going to be eaten. And the word will be fulfilled. That at destruction, as it reads in verse 22, and then famine, thou shalt laugh. That's going to happen because the Lord, through His knowledge, is going to take care of us. Just like how He took care of His men during the time of the book of Genesis when Egypt was suffering a famine at that time. As it is written, there is no new thing under the sun, saying that it already been of old time. Many times in the past there's been famines. Right? But let's just deal with it from a biblical standpoint of view, where the stories have been written of how people that the Lord have already was working with survived, found water wells, and many other things, and as well as the story that I was reading to you in the history of Egypt, or should I say the history of one of our forefathers in the scriptures, which was taken care of, so much so that He took care of the people. Okay, because the Lord revealed the knowledge to him. So the Lord revealed the knowledge to him for him to do all of that which was a great deed indeed. Then how much more the knowledge that we have today that the Lord has given us? So much more is yet to be shown to us. Wonders will be wrought out here. So that's all I have to say for this. I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and the Son, Yahweh, Ba'ashin Yahushua, Ba'ashin Rakak Kodash. And with that, I am out, and I'm closing. Shalom.